Welcome back to another episode of STL Real Estate Roundtable. I'm your host, Jaden Barr, CEO and team leader of Keller Williams Realty Chesterfield. And today I'm joined by a very special guest, Angela Wibbenmeyer.
Yes.
I got it.
You got
We're
it.
good. Okay. I start off every episode the same way, which is what got you started in a career in real estate?
Do you want the short answer or the long answer?
The long one. Let's go the long one.
Okay.
We're long form content here.
Well, growing up, my dad built custom homes. So out in O'Fallon, like Summit Estates, he did some in there. That was like the time frame, I think, where my memory, starts of it. Hanging out with him there, playing sick from school. I'd like roll across these giant carpet rolls in the basement for fun while he worked. Never thought I'd do anything with real estate. And as I got older, a lot of times he's dragging me to the job site to sweep, pack lunch, spot nails, nothing. I could not build a house. But he was just always working on that kind of stuff, drafting houses. His office was connected to my bedroom. So anytime I needed to access my bedroom, I had to walk through his drafting room, view what he was drafting. And a lot of times I'd just stop and kind of stare or ask questions like, why is that there? Or I like this. I was always really interested in that. But who wants to be like their parents? That's just the craziest thing ever. So I was never going to do anything with real estate or construction. And so I go to college at Truman, where apparently I met you.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. Worked for the football team, made a lot of really good friends. And this is where the story speeds up. So I'm in business school. And about my third year in, my boyfriend at the time and my mom kind of have like an intervention with me. And they're like, you're like just not your best self right now. I didn't have great mental health. And I was like, well, I think I'm going to, transfer, be closer to home. And so I did. I transferred to SIUE, and my best friend and I got an apartment together in Edwardsville. We moved all of our stuff in. I had a schedule, and the week before classes began, like 1 or 2 weeks, they called me and they said, we're so sorry. We missed something on your transcripts. Truman is a liberal arts school. We're not going to take any of your gen eds. And at this point, I'm a senior, and I'm like, what? All my friends are going to graduate. What do you mean you won't take them? They're like, it's no problem. You can retake your gen eds. And I'm like, I'm not paying university fees. Mm-hmm. And my Edwardsville address existed. So I go to community college in Edwardsville for a semester. And I'm sitting there in like biology 101. And at this point, I'm 21. And I'm sitting next to 18-year-olds. And at the time, that gap was crazy huge. And they were just little babies in my head. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what am I doing here? I'm so bored. And I start thinking about everyone I know in business and marketing. And it's such a vast, when people say they're in business, that can literally mean anything.
Yeah.
It can mean they own an ice cream shop. It can mean they're a financial investor and advisor, CPA. It can mean so many things. So I'm thinking to myself, is this degree even going to niche down what I really want to do? Like, what do I actually want to do? Mm-hmm. And so I sit through the semester, I sit through biology 101 and like algebra, like basic stuff. And I'm miserable. And one day I just think I'm like, who do I know that's super happy, that makes a lot of money and is in business? Mm-hmm. And I thought of Jake Jones's dad. Do you remember Jake Jones? Mm-hmm. Okay, so Jake and I went to high school together, and I worked at McGurk's in O'Fallon. Mm-hmm. They lived close by, so they were regulars. I thought of Scott, his dad, and I've always had a really good relationship with their family. So I called Scott. I was like, I think I want to sell real estate. And he's like, it's a lot of work. It's really hard. And I'm like, I think I want to do it anyways. And he's like, you want to go to Breadco? And I'm like, yeah, let's meet up and talk. Mm-hmm. So we meet, and I'm just gung-ho. Like, I'm writing down, I'm like, what laptop do you have that works great? Like, what model is it? And I'm like, he's got like the Apple, I don't know if it's the Air or whatever. And I go and buy the exact same laptop as him. and I meet with his brokers, and, I really hit it off with his brokers. I'm like, gosh, I really want to be here. So I get my license. I started that process in 2019. I think I actually completed my license in 2020, like right as the year turned over. Yeah, but I never say that because people, they always say, oh, that agent probably got licensed in 2020 when things were so easy to sell. And they weren't. If you had a buyer, it was really hard.
Yeah.
There were 25 offers. How is your buyer going to win? You had to figure that out.
Yeah.
Easy if you were a listing agent.
Yeah, it was probably like average contracts written per buyer was like
Crazy.
close to 10.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, probably around 10.
Had to be super creative.
Yeah. I remember writing 4 offers for the same buyer in the same weekend.
That makes total sense. And
Crazy.
I would have people like, you see like 6 houses. What are your top 3? Call and see what the offer situation is like on each. Who's willing to shut it down early? That's the one we're chasing,
Yeah. Right. Okay. So you get licensed in 2019, 2020. Yeah. And then what happens next? Kind of take me through the career path from there.
So Scott's my mentor. He is awesome. Just spent every moment like soaking in what he was doing, listening to him talk on the phone. I would go to appointments with him and just doing a lot of residential. He's a residential agent. So learning what that process is like. And I was at a really good time in my life, like young 20s. That's when people are like, should I move out of mom's basement? I just got my first salary, kind of thinking, do they get an apartment? Do they want to get a house? And so having a lot of those conversations with people that were my age, which was great. The first year I was really gung-ho. You do like your end of year goal setting with your broker. And my broker asked me how many deals I wanted to sell. And I think I said 12. And I remember her smiling really big. And she was like, I think that's an awesome goal. And I was like, yeah, it is an awesome goal. And I did not hit 12 the first year. I don't think most people do unless they're on a team, like getting like a lot of really good vetted leads. But I mean, year after year after that, I've always doubled or tripled my business, just really like digging your heels in. That first year I didn't hit 12, but boy, it came soon after. And yeah, I just recently, like I was telling you, started doing more commercial, a couple apartment complexes, and kind of testing that water, really enjoying it. It's very different sphere of agents over there. For sure.
Yeah. Commercial's a whole different animal. Yeah.
Yeah. The ratio is different. Like in residential, like I think we're like 80% female dominated industry or something like that. And then commercial, it's like a lot more men, which is crazy. And not a lot of people get into it. It's definitely more niche.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you think have been kind of the key, you talked about career growth so far. What do you think has been the key to your success so far?
Not being afraid to ask a question. And I don't mean that in the way everyone else says. Like everyone says, like, don't be afraid to say you don't know and you'll go find the answer. I mean, like, don't be afraid to ask for people's business. I think a lot of people are scared of the word no. And the word no is not going to hurt you. Yeah. It's gone in a split second. And it can turn into a yes the very next second.
Yep.
So I just have no shame when it comes to asking, who do you know? Do you know someone? Like, can you connect me with this person? Yeah. And that has really been, I think everyone's got their thing, like their leads or their door knockers or their like boxing class or whatever they do. And my thing is like, I'm not afraid to ask someone, hey, there's this really good deal that I saw. Do you know someone that wants to buy in this town or in this industry? And just hearing them out.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think if you knew you were 20 no's away from your next yes, how quickly would you try to get through all the no's?
Have you ever done like a no November?
I have not. No.
So a no November, my first broker did this, and I was so new. I didn't really understand the concept. It sounded so backwards to me. It was a contest of you're going to call your sphere. Whoever is like the first person to get to 20 no's wins a gift card.
Okay.
Or something like that. Yeah. And
I like that.
The whole purpose was to get people to call their sphere. And when they call their sphere, it winds up turning into leads. So there's not a loser. Really the loser is the person that gets the gift card and wins if they never got to yes after 20 no's, because the people that lost got one or more yeses, which led them to one or more commissions.
Yeah, they're winning, right?
Yeah, they're winning.
Yeah, for sure. So looking at kind of the challenges of building a career in real estate, kind of speak to that. Speak to kind of the challenges of, the ebbs and flows, the ups and the downs, the roller coaster ride of being in this industry. What does that look like?
Well, I was really young when I started. Yeah, I think I was 21 when I got started. And I have sage advice now. I have 2 kids. I'm married. I've been through some things. But at the time, you have kids. Like, people without kids, they complain about silly stuff sometimes. And you're like, oh my God.
Just wait.
Yeah, just wait. So it's kind of like that in real estate. Like, I remember just freaking out one time because the printer wasn't working. I was so flustered. And, the challenges for me back then were like, you're so under so much pressure because you haven't closed a deal in 2 months that you're like cracking at things that you really shouldn't crack at. But just learning like, this isn't a big deal. It's really not. Like, my next deal is going to come, and just having confidence that you're going to bring your next deal. And then you get to a point where you're like, man, I wonder if this will pause for a month. That would be nice. So I'd say the hardest part in the beginning was ebbs and flows. And now, I used to pray for business. Now I pray to manage my business.
Yeah.
Like, every night I pray, Jesus, please help me manage this business and serve these clients well. Because, at one point I'm begging for leads, and all of a sudden you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, okay, give me a couple extra hours in the day so I can manage these leads.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned, being a mom. Like, how do you balance, being a great mom, being a great wife? Like, how do you manage, being in an industry that is kind of on 24/7? Like, how do
no off switch?
What's the advice that you give to the moms out there?
Find a great husband.
There you go. Hey, that's great advice.
It's all in the spouse.
That's great advice. Shut it down.
No, I know we talked about like your wife and you were super close. Like, my husband really is our rock. Like, he's ready at all times. Like, he's like, you just go. I've got the kids. Like, he does not let me miss an opportunity. But outside of my husband, like, I would say time blocking is a huge, huge deal for me. I'm one of 6 siblings. 6, I just stuttered. So my siblings and I are very, very close. I talk to 3 or more of them every single day, no doubt, easily, probably several times a day, a couple of them. And like, there are times in our group text where I'll have to be like, I hope you all have a great day. I have a lot to get done. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they'll all like laugh at my text. And it's just really funny. But I would say, seriously, time blocking, having to tell friends, I can't wait to talk with you at our coffee date. Things like that. Like, really kind of compartmentalizing time and not wasting time. Because I think in the beginning, I was doing so many things that I thought were productive that were not productive. Like lead generation on social media can so easily turn into, I'm just consuming.
Yeah, doom scrolling.
At this point, I'm just consuming. And, being able to say to yourself, this isn't productive. I'm going to pivot, because you don't have a boss. So you have to be able to take control of yourself and be like, I have to get myself in control and get off of Facebook. And I need to go respond to these emails right now.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I can relate to that for sure. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. What's an area of your business that you're looking to grow in 2026?
I would say definitely commercial in certain neighborhoods. So commercial in general, I want to do more of. I love residential. I will never give residential up. Just the background that I come from, it's really where my passion is. But I have really enjoyed doing some commercial lately, and I want to explore that a little bit more. And then certain neighborhoods, like every year I have like a street or a town I really want to sell on. And I think 2026 is about Clayton, is where I want to try and do more.
Okay.
I try to pick a different corner of the map every year And this year I'm like, you know what? I want to head to Clayton. I want to really focus my energy there. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. What would you say kind of sets your business apart from, I think the saying is people on average know 13 agents. Like every person knows 13 agents.
Yeah.
What would you say kind of sets your business apart, or how do you try to stand out from every other agent that's out there?
Trying to make them see that it's okay to not want to use me. And that normally is like reverse psychology. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've talked to someone and they're like, yeah, my aunt's neighbor is an agent too. So I'm just trying to figure out who I want to use, and being like, oh, of course, like you should see who's a better fit for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's a great way to look at it. Where has the majority of your business came from, and kind of what are your primary lead sources right now?
So I'm 100% SOI. I never really had a long-term lead system. I think my second year we had leads for like maybe 6 months. And I think I had one closing from them. And from that time I was like, I'm just not into leads, and nothing against them. Everyone's got their thing that they make work and are really, really good at. I was not good at the lead system, the online click and they get sent to my phone. For me, it's been all friends of a friend's of a friend's of a neighbor's cousin. Mm-hmm. And I really try to focus my time on making this client feel like they can do no wrong by me. I will take care of them. And then they're like, oh my gosh, like, I really feel like you were never going to let me fail. I told my coworkers they had to use you, like you would care for them. And so I really just try to stick to like excellent service, and then let that speak for itself. Because people, if you're a great agent, they don't want their loved ones to suffer through a bad agent.
Right.
They'll put them in touch with someone that they think will take care of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, believing in the level of service that you provide.
Right.
I mean, knowing that that's probably better than 90% of agents out there.
Yeah.
Right? Because those of y'all that don't know, there's a low barrier to entry to this industry.
Very low barrier.
Yeah.
It's scary. And I feel like the barrier is gone with like certain, like wholesaling. There isn't even a barrier. You don't have to be licensed to wholesale.
Yeah.
Very few parameters and boundaries in real estate. I would say there's 2 rules in real estate. Rule number 1, there are a million rules in real estate. And rule number 2 is that no one follows any of the rules ever.
Right.
And it's so frustrating because I'm like a rule follower. Like, I will live in the box that I'm supposed to be in. I'll play it safe. And it is a risky business, but the risk is for the consumer. For us, the risk is like losing the license. So I'm definitely the person that follows the rules, but you are always competing with someone who's willing to not follow the rules. Yeah. And that's where the challenges arise.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all I'll say about that. So looking at the business that you built over the past, 5 years, what are you most proud of?
Oh my gosh, that's such a hard question. The average age of the consumer or the buyer that buys their first house, I think is like, last time I checked, it was like 40 something, and it ebbs and flows up and down. If I think of like my 10 closest friends, I've helped 5 of them close on a house, and they're not 30 yet. And that's been the best feeling, because so many people get stuck in the rental cycle long term, and it's really hard to break out of the longer you're in it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't see the value in buying a home. So there's like education there, but just knowing like I was able to help, a lot of my best friends get into a really, really good position.
Yeah.
And that makes me so happy.
That's awesome.
Like happier than any high dollar deal for sure.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. I want to touch on social media and AI. I think those are like 2 hot topics right now in real estate. For sure. I'd love to get your thoughts on kind of those 2 topics and how they relate to our industry. You hear things all the time on the news or social media or whatever that AI is replacing the agent, right? So you hear that. What are your thoughts? And then any other thoughts you have regarding social media, maybe your approach to social media and just AI in general, and if you're using either of those.
Definitely using them both. Strong opinions on both exist. AI, I don't see it taking over real estate because AI is not going to tell you if there's a tenant in the basement that's not supposed to be there. It doesn't know, and it doesn't smell urine when you walk into a flip. I mean, if they can get it that far, really, that would be so cool. But there's just so many.
Isn't that something that should have to be disclosed? Sorry to cut you off, but it is my biggest pet peeve whenever you walk into a house and it smells like
a hoarder house.
It smells like cat urine or
human urine.
Dogs.
I smelled human urine this morning.
Like, people are highly allergic to cats. I feel like that is something that should have to be
I'm highly allergic to cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've had some cat experiences. And
I had one that was on one of those cat trees. You know, as soon as you open the door, they had their cat tree right next to the door. So I opened the door. That cat hissed at me. And I was like, y'all, this ain't the house for you. Let's go. Like, we didn't even go in.
Really?
Yeah. She was allergic to cats. The buyer was. So.
You know, it's such a hard conversation, too, because when you go to a listing appointment, and I love dogs and cats. I'm actually allergic to dogs, too, but not nearly as bad. So you have to tell them, hey, you have to wash your curtains, wash your rugs if you can, vacuum. And I feel so bad because you don't want to offend that person. So I always lead with, I have a dog, but let's, beware that a lot of people are allergic to dogs. Because I've had many a showing where we walk in and the buyer is sneezing and coughing and they don't even look at the house because their eyes are closed, coughing and sneezing, and we leave and they don't go for it. And it's like, it was a great house. What was the question?
AI and social media. AI. Sorry, we got off topic.
Totally fine. No, I don't think AI will replace us. I mean, I've heard in groups I'm in of buyers sending contracts that AI made, thinking they can get out of a buyer's agency fee. And the agent will respond like, hey, you want an inspection, I assume, right? Like, there's just so many things. And real estate's so different in all 50 states. And asking ChatGPT, I mean, a lot of people just don't know how to feed it the exacts, and it has to scrub 50 states of information, plus your local market, which it doesn't live there. I just don't think it's there yet. I don't think it's going to have the 5 sense capability, the see, touch, smell, hear. I mean, I think it can hear and talk.
Yeah.
And I think that's about as far as we are right now. I definitely use ChatGPT to tighten up loose ends, when I'm emailing someone, because I make grammar mistakes, as everyone does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that social media is kind of the same way. I think people have been really gung-ho on social media for a couple years. And I'm starting to see, we're we're like 6 years past COVID now. And I think that the interest level of social media has plateaued maybe. Like, I really focused on it this past year, doing a lot of video, because everyone was doing video, right? Last year, if you didn't video, you were left in the dust. Like, you had to be on video. I'm still going to keep on it. I think that ultimately 90+% of my business comes from clients that I serve really well, and they want me to serve their best friend, coworker, mom really well too.
Yeah.
So I'll keep on it a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be what people think it is. A lot of agents do get 100% of their business from social media.
Yeah.
And that's cool, but it's not me.
I think just from what I've seen, like, agents that do really well are really, really authentic. They have a very clear niche that their content is geared towards. And I think it's hard to tell what's real and what's fake nowadays with how good AI has become. And I think just as a society, I think people are going to turn back more towards like human connection and like face-to-face interaction, because you don't know what's real online. And so I think it might take a little while for us to get there.
Yeah.
But I think eventually people are going to move more towards, like, I mean, you see it now with like younger generations, just being more health conscious, and like, there's so many people that no longer, drink alcohol, or like, run clubs are becoming a huge thing, and just like people like taking care of their mental health, their physical health at a whole nother level. And so I think that trend will probably continue with like, just how we utilize technology and like we need to unplug, right? And be human.
You're right on saying that. Like there is a huge health trend. I remember in college, it was the mental health trend and it's the physical health trend now, which is super cool. And I definitely am on social media and I do believe it's important, but I think that I've always viewed it as something different. A lot of agents view it as the lead source and it can be your lead source. But when I sought out to really get involved on it, I, in my head was like, this is my resume. This is my living, breathing resume. And it's really just like a touch point. Like, have you heard of 13 touches or like, there's different numbers, but basically like you want to have contact with your clients X number of times per year, whether that's mail or seeing them. Or
we've got a 36 touch.
36
system.
is KW. Yeah. So for me, it's like, this is a touch now. Social media is a touch. And I just wanted something to constantly remind people and also build credibility. Because now if you're an agent and you're not on social media, you're the only one is what it feels like.
Right.
I'm sure it's not true. In residential is what it feels like.
Yeah.
So for me, it was more about building credibility, having that resume, not really viewing it as a lead source. But you're right. I think, and like I said, I think it's plateauing right now because people are on this super big health trend like the younger people are, which is good, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay. Last question here. What's the most impactful book or podcast that you read or listened to?
Can I say both?
Yeah, go for it.
Book for real estate, 7 Levels of Communication.
Okay.
100%. Have you read that?
Is that by Covey or Maxwell?
I think Maxwell.
Okay.
I think I'll have to go look. Such a good book. I've always been a talker, if you can't tell. I'm a big talker. And the book is all about like basically becoming, it's this guy that's not a talker. Or he's just awkward. Kind of learning how to talk and utilize that and getting really, really good at communicating in different ways with different people. Mirroring is a really big thing. But podcasts, The Dave Ramsey Show.
Okay.
Just for like practicality, honestly. It's like a good slap in the face every day. Like, I need to be practical about this and not emotional, you know?
Yeah.
If people don't listen to him, you should.
Yeah. Dave Ramsey Show is awesome. Yep. I love his show. A lot of funny interactions on that show too.
I love when people will be like, I'm a really big fan of yours. Just bought my first Rolls Royce. I'll be like, did you get a loan? They'll be like, yeah. You're not a fan of mine. Yeah. You don't watch my show. Don't lie.
You don't.
He's not afraid.
Follower. Yeah.
I love him.
That's great.
He's not afraid to tell you like it is.
That's great. Well, anything else? If there's an agent watching this that is aspiring to get to the level that you're at right now, what advice would you give them?
Keep asking and get really comfortable with the word no.
There you go. That's great advice.
Yeah.
That's good advice.
Try to visualize getting no's sometimes. Just get myself super comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And then I don't get it. And I'm like, oh, hooray.
There you go.
And if I do get it, I'm like, whatever. I already felt that 10 minutes ago when I practiced it.
On to the next.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. Well, thank you for taking what's your most valuable asset, which is your time, and coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it. I know everybody watching and listening is going to get a ton of value from it. So thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll see you on the next episode.